Let's use this beautiful Aurora Struck eyeshadow palette from ColourPop to create an icy winter look. And even though this palette has a lot of pastel shades in it, it is a beautiful, beautiful winter palette. Hey, howdy, hey y'all, Leanna here. Today's video is my monthly collab video with my very dear friend Andi from Andi Does Stuff. I will have Andi's channel linked down in the description box as usual. When I am done creating my winter look, you can go check out Andi's channel and see what kind of look she created with this beautiful palette. This palette was released on the 8th of December in 2022. This is a 30 pan palette, and it is what ColourPop calls a mega palette. I looked on their website and the palette is still available for $35. I picked it up when it was on sale, which is what I normally do. I wait until things go on sale. So we're going to use products that we already have. I have already put on my lotions and potions and serums and such. I have put on my base face. I have primed my eyes, set them, and I even tight-lined. I like to tight-line before I put my eyeshadow on. When we're done, I will show you all the products that I used. So let's get in to this beautiful palette. One thing that I love about this palette is there's no mirror. I do not use the mirrors in my palettes. They are just in my way, and I love that the palette folds all the way back, which makes it super easy to use. I am going to go here into Geomagnetic, which is a beautiful gray. I'm glad that they have some lighter shades that you can use as a transition shade, because I'm not afraid of color, but I don't like to start off with color in my transition. I'm going to use this Refer number 16, which is a nice fluffy kind of pointed brush. It works really well to place shadows in my crease area. So for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that Andi and I have been doing a monthly collab for 2 years, I think. 2025 will be the beginning of our 3rd year. And as far as I know, we will continue our tradition, our monthly tradition of doing a collab. What you might not know, unless you follow Andi, I have a little fallout. I felt it hit my cheek. Unless you follow Andi on Instagram, you may not know that I drove to Andi's house. Andi and I have been friends for 3 years. But we had never met. We have been YouTube friends. We considered ourselves friends in real life as well, but we had not met in person. Lots of video calls, lots of 5-hour each video calls. We chat all the time on Instagram, but we had never met. So I drove to Andi's house. Andi lives in Ohio, and I live in Missouri. It was a 7.5-hour drive. Very nice drive. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love a good road trip. So it was nice. It was nice to get away. Also, if you've been following me for a while, you have watched my videos where I started off talking about what's on the porch. I used to subscribe to a crap ton of subscription boxes. Using that same brush, I'm going to go into this green, which is called Phenomenon. And I'm going to put that in my outer corner. Do I want to use that same brush? Change of plans. I'm going to use this Sydney Grace. I think it's an E11. Anyway, I subscribe to a lot of subscription boxes, and when I would come home from work, my porch would be covered with packages, not just from subscription boxes, but also I ordered a lot of products because I was just getting my channel started and I didn't have a lot of makeup, so I was working on building my inventory. And I would laugh to myself because I would come home and my porch would just be covered in packages. So I'm just lightly now blending that up into that kind of gray shade. That's a very pretty green. I wasn't sure if I would like that. So I swatched 2 shades on the back of my hand to figure out where I wanted to go next. And I am going to go here into Borealis. And I'm going to use my Andi Hot and Flashy A505. This is a BK Beauty brush collab with Andi. This is a great brush for shimmers. And I'm going to spray that and put that in the center. So I would laugh about all the packages that were all over my porch. And when I would do my unboxing videos, I would say, in this edition of What's on the Porch, because there was always so much stuff. And I haven't been able to do that in a while because my son Christopher lives with me now. And he takes my packages from off of the porch and puts them on the back of the couch. I guess I could start my video off with, in today's edition of what was on the back of the couch. Not quite as exciting, but anyway. So it's always been a thing, this what's on the porch. And I had been joking with Andi and telling her that one day I was going to end up on her porch and ask her what's on the porch. So she didn't know. She knew I was coming to Ohio. She did not know when I was coming. And so last weekend I took 2 vacation days. I took off Friday and Saturday. And Friday I planned it out because Andi gets off from work at midnight. Look at how beautiful that shade is. Holy cannoli. And so I planned to leave so that I would get to her house about the time she was getting home from work and had kind of been able to get in the house and relax a little bit. And about the time I was leaving, like 10 minutes before I was leaving, she sent me a message on Instagram that she had been going in early the last couple of days, all these meetings and stuff, and that she was getting off work at 9 o'clock. And I was like, you couldn't have told me that this morning, so I would have left earlier. But so anyway, I got to her house about 1 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, somewhere around 1 a.m. I did not account for the fact that she lives in Eastern Standard Time. I live in Central Standard Time. So there was that whole hour, which is why I got there at 1 and not midnight. Not a lot of fallout with that shade, but I do have a little bit of fallout. And my camera wants to focus elsewhere. So now I'm going to go into this black, which is called Due South. And I'm going to take this refer number 13. As you can see, all of my brushes are dirty. I need to wash them. But I was kind of busy. I'm going to put this in my outer corner just to deepen that up a little bit. I don't want it super black, but I just want to deepen up that very outer corner a little bit. So I pulled up in front of Andi's house and I sent her a message on IG and said, "Hey Andi." And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "What's on the porch?" And I sent that before I got out of the car because I thought maybe she was upstairs in her beauty room. I didn't know that she was, I mean, I've never been in Andi's house, so I didn't know the layout. I did not know that she was like, 5 steps from the door. So by the time I got out of my car, she was standing on the porch. So actually Andi was what was on the porch and not me, but so yeah, that was fun. She was so excited, and I was so excited that she was glad to see me because, I mean, she told me I could just show up whenever. So, and I did. I showed up whenever. So I spent 2 days with Andi, and we chilled out on the couch. We went shopping, we went to Sephora, and we went to TJ Maxx. Did we go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls? Marshalls. We went to Marshalls, I think. And it was really, really nice to finally meet her in person and to be able to give her a hug. And to meet her daughter and her grandbaby and her fiance Anthony, and Luna. Luna would not leave me alone. Luna was sleeping in my lap and all kinds of things, but it was a very, very nice visit, and I cannot wait to go back and visit with her again. So now I'm going to take this Rose and Ben E27. I love these Rose and Ben brushes, y'all, and I'm going to go here into this kind of pinky lilac, maybe. It's called No Sleep. It's very pastel shade, and I'm going to put that right here in my inner corner to lighten that up and add a little bit of color. I think I'm also going to run that right under my lash line. I have used this palette a few times since I got it. It is a very, very nice palette. I think I'm going to go here into Stormy Much using that same brush and put that under my lower lash. And I'm going to pull it up into that green. And then using that same brush, I'm going to go into Comet Seeking, which is this really pretty purple right here. Because I have really been enjoying having a little bit of a shimmer under my lower lash. Even though it puts little sparklies all over my cheeks. I think I'm going to go here into Feeling Wavy. Same brush. And put that over top of that pastel in my inner corner. To add a little shine. I'm going to take this AOA Studio E103 brush, which is what I use to set my shadows. So it just has a translucent, a little bit of leftover translucent powder. But I just want to blend out that green and gray so that there's no harsh line. There we go. So pretty. And then going back into the Rose and Bin E27, I'm going to go somewhere. Where am I going? I think I'll go into Head North, which is this shade right here, and see how that plays as a brow highlight. Very pretty. I love a brow highlight. I just love it. They tell you not to do it, and I'm a rebel because I don't care. So pretty. I feel like I want a little bit more of that Borealis. That looks pink in the pan, but when you put it on, it has this icy blueness to it. Just feel like I lost some of that, and I want to blend it back over that green and black. Just kind of blending. Oh, that shade is amazing. Just amazing. I've already done my brows. I didn't mention that in the beginning. I'm going to do my lashes, do a lip, and then we will come back and wrap this all up. And so this is my final look. I absolutely love it. I was a little bit nervous about using this green because it looks so bright, but I wanted to make sure that I used shades that I would not normally gravitate to get out of my comfort zone a little bit, because, you know, I tell you all the time, we need to play with our makeup. You can wash it off, start all over again, but I really like it. The green turned out really well, and it looks beautiful with that Borealis color. I love it. This is such a good palette. You know, sometimes ColourPop palettes are a little hit and miss. It doesn't seem to be that their formulas sometimes are always consistent, but the formulas in this palette are amazing. I really do like it. It looks really nice. So real quick, I'll show you what other products I used. So on my face, I have the So Susan Cosmetics Skin Spectre Pore Camouflaging Primer. This is very silicone-y type primer, and it does not seem to ever go away. It just keeps on going like the Energizer Bunny. My foundation is the Fenty Pro Filter. This is shade 260. Y'all know I love my powdered foundations. I have a nice pan in this one. For my bronzer, I'm using the Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in the shade Light. And as you can see, I have a pan in that as well. For my blush, I'm using the Persona Caramel. And I love this shade so much. It is such a beautiful shade of blush. My highlighter, my beaming highlighter, is Rare Beauty, and I picked this up while I was with Andi in Sephora in store. They were having their sale, and oh my gosh, y'all, this is a beautiful highlighter. It is so buttery soft. It is amazing. I have been goggling this for quite a while, and when I stuck my finger in it in Sephora, it was all she wrote. I had to have it. Eye primer. I am using the Sigma eyeshadow base primer, and this is in the shade Persuade, and it's this shade here. I wish it was more of my skin tone, but I love these cream stick eyeshadow primers. I wish MAC Painterly Paint Pot is my all-time favorite, and I wish it came in a stick. It's so much easier to apply. I really do like it. I used my House Labs concealer under my eyes. This is the Triclone concealer that has skin care properties in it. And this is 21 Light Medium Neutral. Love it. I don't wear concealer often, but when I do, I love this one. For my brows, I'm using the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is in shade 4, which is very nice. I think that's a nice shade for me. I had the Buxom, I had the Buxom. Is this a lip cream? I think this is a lip cream. Full on plumping lip cream, and it is in the shade White Russian. This is just a little bitty sample, and I have been using the heck out of it. I'm like down to there. I don't know that that will ever be gone either. The NYX Epic Smoke Liner in black. I really do like that. It does smudge a little under my lower lash. I use the LYS Natural Finish Skin Loyalty Blur Mattify and Set Setting Spray. And my lipstick is MAC. And this is the shade Whirl. And I think that's all the products that I used on my face. Thank you so much, Andi. One, for letting me sneak in on you and stay with you for the weekend. It was so nice to meet you in person. I just cannot express to you how much you mean to me. I just adore you. It was a good time. And thank you for another monthly collab and doing the Aurora Struck palette from ColourPop. I love how my look came out. I can't wait to see Andi's look. Make sure that you go down in the description box, click on her link, and watch her video. If you're not subscribed to Andi, maybe you can check out several of her videos. And if she's your vibe, then maybe you can subscribe to her channel. If you enjoyed my video, I would love it if you would show that like button some love. It really does help out my channel. And I will see you in my next video. Okay. Love you. Bye.